Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother Catch Up, and today we're talking about days 3 and 4 in the Big Brother house. Crazy stuff is going on. We've got our first ever shopping task for the series, and we've also got so many interesting and exciting conversations to talk about and discuss. We will be going through Wednesday and Tuesday nights episodes and Thursday nights. No, I've already done Tuesdays, so it's Wednesday and Thursday. Brain is all over the place at the moment, but we are going to be talking about all of that in lieu of tonight's first eviction of the series. I'm going to an eviction watch party later on. I'm very, very excited, and by watch party it's just me and one friend, and we're going to have nibbles. Yeah, exciting. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the episode. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and let's get into the episode, shall we? Let's go. So I think I'll probably start by talking about the whole Days and Nathan conflict. These two people seem to be polar opposites of the political spectrum. However, they seem to get on quite well. It's very similar to how Henry and Trish had some discussions and arguments last year, but were ending up to be really, really close friends, albeit only in the house. And then obviously with this, it was very interesting to see them have an argument about immigration and politics and Nigel Farage. And this is not a political channel. This is not a political channel, so I'm not going to delve too far into sort of like who's right, who's wrong, because politics, there is no right or wrong at the end of the day. It's just like opinions, and it's just difficult to talk about without one side getting mad at you or the other side getting mad at you, or both. So I'm just going to stay out of it. But I did find it very interesting how they had those conversations. And then a little later on in the episode, or it might have been the day after, they were having a conversation about how they're waiting for the charm of, oh, I love everyone, oh, everyone's so lovely, to wear off. And then they'll start to see where the cliques are forming, who's friends with who. And I think that's actually a very, very interesting point to make, because you do have to wait until a week or two in to really start to see who's hanging out with who's better friends with who, and who really doesn't like this group, etc, etc, etc. We saw the cliques forming quite quickly last year, and I think this is the same this year, albeit I haven't been able to pick out any cliques yet. I think there's definitely some forming, we just might not realise it yet. So I'm going to make no secret of the fact that Ali is one of my favourite housemates. I find her very level-headed, I find her very interesting, and I feel like she's got such a calming presence in the house. She makes me feel safe, and I'm not even with her, I'm just sat at home on my bed watching it. So I do feel incredibly safe when I'm watching her, but she did have a little bit of a moment of self-doubt where she was like, I'm finding it a little bit overwhelming being around people that I wouldn't normally be around. I'm finding it tough, and I'm just having one of those moments. I don't want people to think I'm grouchy or miserable, but I just need some time to just get myself right. And obviously that's why she went to the diary room for that. And we also saw her talking a little bit later about how she thinks that there are some people in this house, namely Nathan, who she probably wouldn't hang out with outside of here. She said it's a very interesting experiment to hang out with people that you don't necessarily encounter on a daily basis, different political persuasions, different ethnicities, things like that. And she is finding this a really, really interesting experiment to just put herself outside of her comfort zone and really see what she can do and what kind of people she can meet. I think it's excellent personally. I think that's really, really lovely, and I think that's actually a really great way of looking at this challenge. So yeah, honestly, I'm really enjoying Ali so far. I think she's one of my favourites, 100%. So we have a couple of updates on the dare situation from last episode. I gotta say, I cannot believe that they did some of those dares. Actually, I could not believe it. I was really shocked. Baked potato, still called baked potato. Thomas still got one eyebrow. In fact, later on, baked potato drew an eyebrow on for him, which I thought was really sweet. And there were just some other things as well. She doesn't have to eat any blended food anymore, liquidized food, and Thomas could take off the bucket from his head. I love how evil Big Brother's being this series. I think it's so much better when the people are tested, they're put through things that will actually make them think and make them struggle within the house. I think it just makes it more interesting to watch. And so far, that's what I'm really enjoying from this series, 100%. There was a very interesting moment where Lily, towards the end of day 3, was beginning to have moments of self-doubt and really starting to wonder whether people hated her, disliked her. We all know Lily has been a very loud presence in the house. A very loud presence in the house. So much so that she has now pretty much lost her voice because she's been screaming and shouting so much. And I can't even begrudge her for that because it is an exciting opportunity. I think my issue is currently, and this might be to do with the fact that I 100% think that she's got some kind of ADHD, but she does behave like a 12-year-old or like a young, like, teenager. Do you know what I mean? Like, not a 20-year-old woman. I don't know. There's just something about her that just feels really childlike, and it feels weird watching her on TV because I do feel like I'm watching someone from Dance Mums appearing on the show. Do you know what I mean? Where they're just sort of like bit crazy, bit chaotic. I don't know, it's weird, but she did have that moment of self-doubt, and fortunately Martha and Ali were there to sort of back her up and be like, listen, you're amazing, you're this, you're that, and I actually thought that was such a beautiful moment, and it really helped to sort of lift her spirits a little bit, and I think that's what this show is about. It will drag your spirits down to the depths, and then it's up to the other people in the house to lift you back up again. Fortunately, she's got a good support network in there. Welcome to the Coconut Island Resort. Check in and stay. That is what this week's shopping challenge is. It is a luxurious getaway for some of the contestants. For some of the contestants, they're going to be working. And for the other contestants, they're on half board. And honestly, I actually really enjoyed this shopping challenge. It was given the same energy as Bigwigs from last year. If you don't remember what the Bigwigs were, it was absolutely hilarious. You had the people who were running the show, they had the best time ever. You had the people who were middle management, they kind of had an alright time, they were just there to boss people around. And then you had the workers who were just put to work doing menial shit all day long, and it was hilarious. I really enjoyed it. But this year we've got a Coconut Island resort, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant. The people who were the staff members, Dean was the manager, then you had Lily, Hannah, Khaled, Marcello and Sarah as the 5 workers alongside Dean. And honestly, I thought this was such a great idea. Dean then got to choose who had the upgrades, and actually I thought he chose very interestingly. People he chose were Ali, Thomas, Martha, Shagun and Baked Potato. So honestly, I feel like he chose a good 5 people to have the all-inclusive wristbands. The other people did not get all-inclusive and therefore were not having so much a great time. But I have to say, it was really entertaining. There are more things to talk about, but I'm going to split them up into sections, starting with Sausage Gate. And I really do think that this has the potential to be a very good shopping task. It just needs to stick the landing in the next episode, which will be tonight's episode. So fingers crossed that happens. So we have to talk about Sausage Gate, because I do feel like this is a desperate attempt by Ryan to try and garner some support so he doesn't go home on Friday. I'm really hoping he does. I've put all my votes on Ryan to go home because he is winding me the fuck up. But I just don't get the vibe behind him. He's like, he doesn't get a cooked breakfast for one. So he's like, I'm going to nick a sausage. I'm going to nick a sausage. He goes and nicks a sausage. And obviously, this is Big Brother. Have you never seen Big Brother before? You nick a sausage, the entire house gets punished. So it's just ridiculous. And then obviously, Sarah's like, no! Drop the sausage! You sausage gobbler! Sarah turned into like crazy Batwoman, and it was kind of very funny to watch. She went berserk at him, and then obviously he went back and nicked another one later, and then Lily nicked one and sort of ate it and hid it, and it was just so funny to watch. Because then when they went back to the staff room, Dean was like, right, anything to report? And Lily went, I've eaten a sausage, and Dean was like, no, oh no. It was like the most camp funny way of saying, I've eaten a sausage in my entire life that I've ever seen. It was hilarious. It was brilliant. I really do like Lily. She's bringing the entertainment. Most of them are bringing the entertainment. I finished the episodes and I'm like, no, I want another hour or 2 of that. Give me more content, please. Oh, God. That's why I'm kind of glad that, like, the live streams aren't on 24 hours a day, because I would just sit with them on in the background. And that's really bad for me, because I would never get any work done. I just sat there watching them all the time like this. Hello, I'm watching you. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next thing. Sausage Gate was funny and it was entertaining. Ryan seems to think that he's going to get punished for it or become the scapegoat if they lose the challenge. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, but is what it is. I think he'll go home tonight, fingers crossed. I can't see anybody else going. I can't see Dean going. I can't see Nathan going. And I can't see Baked Potato going. So it kind of has to be Ryan, doesn't it? So the next thing on the menu was a secret mission given to Dean to get Hannah to get somebody to give her a complaint. And I actually thought this was going to be easier said than done. But actually, all she needed to do was deliver one dodgy coffee to Ryan. And he was like, yeah, give me a complaint form. I'm complaining. What's this in my coffee? This isn't coffee. This is shit. And I actually found that very funny. I think the secret challenges should be a little bit harder. But also, I don't feel like there should be too many secret challenges because I am enjoying just getting to know them. And the constant tasks last season were really prohibiting us truly getting to know the characters and the people that we were watching on TV. So hopefully this series they're learning, because they didn't have any in the Wednesday night episode, only in the Thursday night because obviously it's the shopping challenge. So I feel like we're off to a great start with BB UK, especially when it comes to the tasks. Speaking of Hannah, I think that we need to talk about the whole Aggie situation, the whole single till you're married conversation, because I have thoughts on it, first of all. First of all, I think I don't understand where Hannah was coming from when she was saying, oh, you're single till you're married. Like, until I sign a bit of paper, I'm single. And I understood where Khaled was coming from, being like, well, that just promotes no loyalty. Like, that's not okay. I do agree with that. I think that that's a very negative way of looking at relationships. You shouldn't, if you're with someone that you love and care about, you shouldn't want to look elsewhere. And therefore, if you are, then clearly you don't love them as much as you say you do. So I just feel like this was a weird conversation to be having. But then it took a little bit of a turn because, as we heard, Hannah started to get a little bit more passionate, and I think, do you know what it is? It's the gesticulating. When you start gesticulating very like sharp, it does give off, like I do it, and it punctuates everything a little bit more, so it does seem a little bit more Aggie. She wasn't getting Aggie, obviously. Like I didn't sense that from her at all. But obviously when Khaled was like, stop getting Aggie, like we're just having a conversation, she was like, I'm not Aggie, it's just passionate. And then obviously later on, she had a little cry to him and was like, look, it's a stereotype, don't perpetuate it, etc., etc. And I'm glad that they had that conversation, they brought it up. I think it was resolved relatively well, and I feel like they can move past that. But it was just interesting to highlight something like that in the show. And I think it's important to note that maybe we just need to maybe not call people aggressive. Unless they're like shouting at you, then you can call them aggressive, absolutely. But like if they're just giving you a little bit of attitude, come on, you're a big boy, put up with it a little bit, come on. Right, guys, we have a staggering 6 iconic quotes and moments to bring you in this episode. 6. 3 of them involve Sarah. The other 3 involve Lily. So they really had just a fantastic 2 episodes, honestly. I feel like Lily had a great first episode in Wednesday night, and then Thursday night Sarah had a brilliant episode. So we'll start with Lily's ones back to back. First of all, Lily told a story about her getting electrocuted, and then the others were like, oh, that explains a lot about what you're like. They were like, oh yeah, I don't think my brain has gotten back to normal since. And they're like, no, that explains everything, actually. And then she also spoke about how she decided to sign on for second year at uni and then just take the student loan and then just not go. And then she like spent all of the money on gambling, and her mum had to block all the websites to stop her from gambling, which I found absolutely hilarious. The only thing she can do now is buy scratch cards, which I find hysterical. And then the next Lily story had to be when she was talking about her dog having depression and anxiety, and the others were joking about, are you sure that it's not just you? The dog's not just anxious of you, because you are quite loud. And I found that very, very funny. And then the last one was Lily talking about how she applied for this show in order to piss off her ex because Big Brother's his favourite show. How hysterical is that? He cheated on her. she went on Big Brother, his favourite show. That's absolutely iconic, and I actually think that's hysterical. That is 10 out of 10 reason to go on this show. I love it. Brilliant. Bring it on. I need more Lily. Get her on our screen now. So, the funny 3 Sarah moments. We'll start with Sarah's aquasize class. That was hysterical. Very, very funny. Very, very entertaining. Then we move on to Sarah accidentally eating a meat sandwich and then absolutely having a freak out over it, which I completely understand. But the drama of it all and the way it was like, oh shit, there's meat in there. Oh God, I didn't even know. It was just so entertaining and so funny. And I can understand how traumatic it is for her. Don't worry. But I just found it hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing. I actually could not stop. The last iconic quote moment is kind of a dual one between her and Marcello. It was her horrendous rap, even though she was rapping better than Marcello. And then Marcello singing Mysterious Girl to Rosie. No, Baked Potato. Oh, I've been doing so well this episode. Baked Potato. So that was just a really, really funny way to end the episode. There were some great moments. Marcello's such a performer. I'm just not vibing with him, I gotta be honest. I'm not feeling the vibes from him, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching today's episode, today's catch-up, today's review and recap of Big Brother Day 3 and 4 in the crazy Big Brother house. We're on Coconut Island Resort, and I'm excited to see what happens tonight. There's a live eviction. You're going to find out soon on my channel who it is. If you're not watching and you're in the States or you're around the world, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, as I'm probably the only person that's recapping and reviewing this on YouTube. So, thank you guys for watching this. See you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now. See ya.